And we are live. Hi, everybody. Don't know if anyone's here yet, but in case you don't know who we are, let us tell you. And as we do so, we're also going to be sharing our initial thoughts and ratings. So if you're on my channel, you know who I am. I'm Amanda from Amanda's Booktopia. Um, for those who don't know what we're discussing today, Heart of Night and Fire by Nisha J Tuli, as Clint shows you the paperback. And I originally gave it 4 stars. Um, my initial thoughts was that it was a really good story, but the ending for me was really abrupt. So, and we'll go um, this way towards Clint. I
Hi
can't
guys.
do my fingers right. Sorry.
Whatever. Hi guys, it's Clint from Reads Readers. I just finished this on the ride home from work. I'm currently thinking I'm sitting at like a 4. My initial thoughts is there was moments of this that was slightly predictable. So I kind of wasn't shocked that we were getting an abrupt ending because I kind of saw that revelation at the end coming of who her father is. Um, and a
I
couple of
didn't.
things. I also feel like have read way too many Asian inspired fantasies that I kept going back to a couple of them in my head going, well, that's stolen from Poppy War. Well, that feels like the Bone Witch. Well, that feels like Spin the Dawn. And I was like, okay, I'm enjoying it and I will be continuing.
As
Um,
well.
and Yasin's my favorite character, just saying.
I think I'm at a 3.75, but that could change after this conversation. I liked the ending. I do think it was really predictable, but similar to what you said, it felt very similar to a lot of other books I've read. So that's the only reason it's like a 3.75. Like, I had nothing against the story. I actually really liked it, but it just felt like I've read this before.
Yeah, it
Um,
almost felt a little cookie cutter
Yeah.
fantasy.
Yeah.
right.
And not in a bad way.
No, it was
Sometimes you
just,
need that.
yeah.
Hey, Karina. I'm sad I didn't get a chance to read this in time. I'll try to come back and watch the playback. Happy chatting. I know she was supposed to read this with us this month.
Yes.
Hopefully, when she finishes, she could come back and
Yeah, but
watch everything again.
November got out of all of our hands, and life and
Right?
emotions and the roller coaster of this month that a lot of our readings kind of went for
There.
a lot of us.
Sure did.
That's
Like, I only
why
read 5 books this month.
I started Real Housewives of Atlanta at the beginning of this month. I am on almost done with season 6.
Oh, jeez.
That tells you the rabbit hole I've been going down.
I've been going down the rabbit hole of my own with the show Brain It and the with Coach Diana and the Dancing Dolls. I have been. This is my second watch through. I watched it way back when it was still airing. Now I'm rewatching it because I used to love the show, and I'm like, cool, I can watch it for free on Tubi. So I've been mostly watching that and working on a special Kindle project I'm thinking of doing for my channel. So I've been really not been reading much and focusing more on that stuff.
Oh,
But
and Mass Singer.
oh yeah, and Matt Singer, of course.
Fruit baskets. I've just been binging fruit baskets and having a great time with it.
I love fruit baskets.
It's my first time watching it, so I'm enjoying.
You have to let us know what you think. A month has definitely been a toughie, but I'm still excited for this one. That's good. Yeah, I'm excited to hear everyone's thoughts. So we'll start with an easy question. Who are your favorite and least favorite characters and why?
Yasin's my favorite, and I loved him from the get go. The minute he was
Mhm.
introduced, he's, for those who might not remember who he is, he's Vic's best friend. and
Mhm.
Bodyguard.
Yeah.
Freaking loved him. He was snarky. We got to a point in the story where she thought he got jealous, and I went, no, honey. No, no, no. If he's jealous of anybody, it would be he's jealous that Vic's doing things with you because he wants Vic. And when it came out that he liked men, I went, told y'all. Told you. Told you. That's the one thing I was like super happy about. And then I really hate Vic's dad.
Same.
That's fair.
And kind of Ro, because I didn't really like him at the beginning.
I didn't like him at all throughout
I
the
don't
whole thing.
understand him as like I just the romance was odd. Like I wasn't sure who I was supposed to be like shipping because it seemed like it was supposed to be kind of like a love triangle ish, maybe, but it was weird.
Right?
Yeah, I
You know
was.
what it made me think of? House of Night by PC Cast and Kristen Cast, where there's like a love quadrette at one point, but it's not like she loves all of them. They love her. And she's like, no, I love this person.
Huh.
And then she's
Right.
like blood bound to this person. So it's like it's love, but it's not. So
I've
it's
never
like
read that series.
in this I was like, okay, is she gonna if Yasin isn't gay, is he gonna start flirting? Is the brother apprentice dude going to be a love interest? Is Kendall gonna be a love interest? You got Vic, you got this mysterious dude in the woods. I'm like, why are all these men just going, oh, good gaga over her right now? I'm like, I'm gonna need y'all to back up.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's typically that whole I'm not like other girls kind of trope. I
Oh
can't
yeah.
believe that men find me attractive.
And also going back to Ro, I feel like we weren't really given a good reason why he didn't inform her. He's like, I kept you captive this whole time. Sorry. Like he didn't I feel like there should have been a little bit more like groveling or something. Like
Right?
I don't know. It was weird. It was odd.
I was
It
like,
was
okay,
rough.
Uncle Dursley, go away, Vernon.
Yeah. I was like, there were other options besides keeping her secluded in a house or his house. I don't know.
Right? I listened to the audiobook of this one, so I don't remember how to spell everybody's names. But I actually really enjoy the narrator on
Yes,
this
the audiobook was
audiobook.
really good.
It was really good.
Yeah. And um, I'm in my audiobook era these days. I've been listening to everything on audio. So it's like I'm training to Jess.
Audio's the best.
They are. Listen, join the club. We will convert.
I haven't picked up a physical book in like several months.
I
I've
mean,
just been like listening to everything.
that's why I'm only this far in.
What book is that?
North is the night.
North is the Night.
So I'm like, that's why I'm only this far in because I have to physically read.
Yeah.
I want that book though.
Oh, I can't wait to get the finished copy of it. Ugh.
It's on my books I really want list. But I think my favorite character was probably the main girl Zarya. Is that how you say it?
Zarya.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked her because she was actually trying to find answers. And she was actually physically trying to get away from everything she was told not to get away from. Like, she really wanted to know what was really going on. And she would not give up till she got answers. And that's probably why I really liked her.
You
Kind
know
of
who
sounds like something I
Zarya?
would do.
You know who Zarya kind of made me think of?
Too.
Lysandra. She had moments of like Lysandra from Throne of Glass.
I can kind of see that.
Oh, yeah.
Just like with her attitude, and it was like my brain was like, oh no, she's kind of giving me Aelin, and I'm like, no, I get more Lysandra in certain situations.
I
Right.
can see that. I thought you were going to say Aelin because I saw Aelin a little bit in the beginning, but I can also see Lysandra.
We probably shouldn't say the name Aelin for those who haven't read Throne of Glass yet.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I mean, I'm surprised for people who haven't, but there are people out there.
That's why I didn't refer to who she was.
I'm not that guy.
People are gonna be like, "Who's Aelin?"
To be fair, I kept hearing, and I actually looked at fan art about that character before reading the series, and I was just confused.
To be fair, I've already ruined that for one of our friends. So while she was reading the series, I thought
Oh,
she had already gotten to that part, and
yeah,
she
that's sad.
hadn't.
That's
I'm
worse.
sorry, Dana.
I feel so bad for Dana.
I ruined a lot during Tharna Glass by sending TikToks.
Right.
But I was like, to me, they weren't spoilers, so I didn't think of them as spoilers. My bad.
Let's see. Oh, here's a good question because I know Clint will definitely want to answer this one. If there's one thing about the book he could have improved, what would it be?
One, I would have removed the whole Roe storyline
Yeah, I agree.
because
It felt
it
so out of place.
it felt so Briar Rose from Sleeping Beauty, Briar Rose. Oh, we have to hide this person, i.e., Rapunzel, locked in a tower. She's locked in this kind of. It was such an easy way to do it that I was like almost bored at the beginning. And I'm like, oh, this is a girl just trapped. Oh, yay. Cool. And it was when she finally got to the city that I was like, okay, actually, I'm starting to get more interested here.
Yeah,
When she
same.
started being introduced to the other um, magic users and stuff like that, I'm not even going to try to pronounce some of these words because I am Southern white and I will mispronounce it wrong. So, but that's also where I got like Bone Witch from.
Yeah.
Vibes is all the different types of magic and the way that they're used.
I haven't read that
Granted,
series yet.
they're both. Do you believe they're like similar
I think
mythologies, anyways? So
I think they were similar. I definitely got Bone Witch vibes. I've only read the one book. But yeah.
I haven't heard anyone talk about the Bone Witch series at all, except from one person in like ages.
also, what was this whole marriage that wasn't a marriage?
That was
Yeah,
weird.
that was confusing.
And it wasn't weird until they talked about like making a life, but like not by doing anything. It was odd. And it seemed like neither of them were really too excited about it.
Yeah,
Like, it felt like an arranged marriage without actually having an arranged marriage. So it was more of this is where it got like Shadowhunter vibes right there. It was very much like
mhm.
a parabatai kind of thing
Oh,
of y'all are always tied together, but y'all can never cross lines. Y'all
I
can
didn't even
never
think
do
about that.
this. You can never do that type thing.
Right.
And as the only male present, I am all for a woman led nation, but why can't she speak? Why does the man have to speak? But for the man
Right.
to have that power, he's not allowed to have sex with anyone.
That's what I got from it. I
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
I'm
under,
confused.
do you guys understand why, like what causes them once you're become, is it the queen, that you are suddenly unable to speak? Like I wasn't even understanding that aspect.
I It was never explained.
Okay,
Yeah,
good. So then I didn't miss
they
it.
never really explained that.
Okay.
Because I paused the audiobook and I went back and I reread that chapter like multiple times, trying to go, okay, something about this feels like it's missing.
I just assumed I missed something. Like I was like cleaning the house while I was listening, so I was like, oh, maybe I like zoned out for that part. But I was like, oh, okay, that's an odd ritual and thing to happen.
Right.
I was like, that explains why when she met the queen didn't say a single word.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I was like, well, this is a sexist kind of thing where, like, if you're a queen, you're not allowed to talk. Okay.
I thought that was an interesting way of like, you know, it seemed like the whole thing was like putting the woman in their place and the men kind of took over kind of thing. It reminded me of another book I recently read a little bit with that concept with the Prairie Girls, the Jessari. It kind of reminded me how like the men are like the ones that control and the women are not. And I think that part bugged me more than anything else. I just didn't think it was fair. Like I felt like we were in more. I know it's Asian inspired, and I was hoping to be more modern, where they're all equals. And I just didn't feel that way.
I have either of you read To Bleed a Crystal Blue?
Not yet, no.
Not yet.
So it kind of, a little bit of it reminded me of that, where she's kind of held isolated and never really given any reason. I do like this character more because she did try to question it and was trying to figure things out. That's not exactly what happens in To Bleed a Crystal Blue. A little bit, but not to that extent. So I feel like in some ways there was like women autonomy and like power and things like that, but then in other ways, yeah, we have a queen that can't talk. So I think there were some aspects I just didn't like.
It was
Right.
basically like, oh, you get to rule, but you're just a face.
Yeah.
And I'm
What's
like,
the point of her being the ruler if she's not really ruling?
oh, and the okay, my thing is also the magic thing about the two of them going into the water naked and the magic seed goes into her and they get to decide when they
Yeah.
release it to have a child for an heir. That doesn't make sense
Right.
magic wise.
Just don't look
Yeah.
too in depth. It's fine.
I will
Okay.
say a lot of the things that we say are cookie cutter. This is a good beginner's guide to like romantasy.
Yeah. Like if you haven't read anything else yet, it's like a good start.
Hmm.
It's a very easy read.
Yeah. Like I thought it was interesting. Um, well, let me put this up first because this is a kind of a plot twist that I thought was interesting. That Zarya was the only person who could touch that egg without getting hurt. And like, I wonder if maybe her mom was a seer, and now she's a seer too, and she could do things like that a seer can do. Because it felt like because she was having visions when she was touching the egg. So I thought that was an interesting twist there. That maybe is showing that she's a seer, like her mom was, because she saw her mom in a textbook that looked just like her, but
Hmm.
without that mole or whatever she had in her face. So I was wondering if, even though they couldn't read the book and understand it, I felt like maybe it was trying to like explain what she is, like a seer, and that
See,
she had the same, and like Daria had the same kinds of powers. So when she touched that egg, I felt like maybe she probably saw, like when she had those visions, she never really got a chance to really grab onto those visions and really see. And then whenever somebody else tried to touch the egg, they got hurt really, really badly. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
see, I thought now that her magic was explained towards the end, or I'm just going to put in air quotes, explained,
Hmm.
um, where she has all five, or sorry, six anchors. I thought like the seeing the visions and stuff is where the spirit magic comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the time in most magic settings, your premonitions, your telepathy, and all of that stuff comes from like the spirit element. Is normally like the mythology of it. So I was like, well, that would explain the visions.
Mm-hmm.
It never got fully explained about the stars and what it means that
Yeah.
she can pull the star like that doesn't compute. I tried to visualize it and I couldn't.
Did we also ever get an explanation on the guy? I forget the guy's name that she sees in the dreams.
Ruben, Rabbit,
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Vic's brother.
yeah, it seems like he was shocked, I guess, when he sees her in person, like at the very end. Do we think he was like faking that, or do you think he actually thinks that she's like trying to manipulate him?
it's kind of funny you asked that because I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
I want to know if he has darkness. Because if he turns into a black dragon
Oh,
and there are brothers that have the darkness power that was like put away,
Mm.
what I'm wondering is Vic and Rabin and all of them, are they a descendant of one of them?
maybe.
Mm.
Or what is Rabin's mother, like Rabin and Vic's mother? And that is why Vic doesn't have a lot of magic.
Could be.
Yes, that's
And that is
possible.
why the two of them are like bound together.
Mm.
Is because they're both related to the brothers. We don't want to look too much into that because it's supposed to be, my understanding, the romance between the two of them.
Yeah.
Right, that's possible.
I feel like it left a lot open. Like the
Yeah,
author could go a lot of different directions from where this book ended. So I'm kind of interested in like the author's process, if she's one of those authors that like had it all mapped out and is working backwards, or if this is kind of just like going as she writes.
yeah. Also, I have read most of her newer series. The last book just came out actually today. I just realized it's the 26th. The last book that I just
Yay!
came out today. So that's the my most highly anticipated read of the whole year for me.
Oh wow.
So because I since I read Trial of the Sun Queen and the second one and the third one, the fourth one is the one that I still need to read that just came out today. But I feel like her writing's improved in that series compared to this book.
Yeah.
Like I feel like she really elevated her storytelling in her newer series because I know a lot of people don't love the first book, but I keep telling people to continue anyways, just because the world building gets better, the politics get better, it gets more intriguing as you go, and more things happen that you don't expect in her newer series. So for those that didn't really love this book, I say so try her next series because I feel like it's even better. Even though
I wonder
I've
if
only
that
read this one from the series.
I wonder if that'll apply to this then, because she was writing both series at the same time.
Was
And
she?
the fourth one of this comes out in May or March. Sorry.
I thought that series was already completed.
It's a quartet. There's only
Right.
3 out so far. The fourth one comes out in
Oh.
March. I was looking at it
For
earlier.
some reason, I thought all those books were already out.
I didn't even realize it was the same author. That's so funny. Because I was one of the people that I wasn't a huge fan of Trial of the Sun Queen. I think I gave it 3 stars. But I will continue because I have heard a lot of people have said as you progress, it does get way better.
Yeah, a lot of people are really iffy in the first book.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's very similar to um, like the Hunger Games slash The Bachelor. But as you continue throughout the series, those similarities go away completely. And it just they expand on the world and the all the other characters, and they bring in more politics, and the intrigue gets more intriguing as you go. I just feel like I haven't. I do want to continue this series of the book that we're discussing now, but I feel like with the series that just she just finished, I think that one has like, had my attention even more than this one.
Yeah.
I will say this one was wrote during the summer of the pandemic
Oh,
Ooh.
really?
of 2020. because it says at the back that it was wrote during the summer of 2020. So it
Oh
was
wow.
wrote during the beginning of the pandemic. So if anything felt a little disjointed and stuff, it
Right.
might be because of that's where her head
Yeah,
was.
she was going
We
through
were
it at that time.
we all were going through it at that time. So
Right.
Fair.
Like in her newer series, the one that she just finished, my favorite book from that series currently is the third book. But once I read the fourth one, that might change because I've been so ready for Tale of the Heart Queen for like ages, and I need to buy it as soon as possible, probably this weekend
I
because
mean,
I want to. I'm co-hosting a readathon in December, and I'm putting this in my TBR for the readathon.
Oh,
So I really am excited to finally finish that series and see um, if it's going to be a good ending to a series. And if I really love it, I'll probably go back and finish out A Heart of Night and Fire ones.
I know I own book one of that series, but I think I might finish this series first
Hmm.
and then go into that. That way I'm not judging the two series.
Yeah, that
that's
makes
probably
sense.
true.
And from what I've heard, that one's written better. So I'd rather read the one that's not as good after I
See her
read this
improvements.
one to see the
Yeah.
improvements, and so that I'm not going to that. And if the second book of this doesn't hold up to that,
Hmm.
then I would end up DNFing a series when I can probably finish this,
Right. Like
enjoy it.
I know. The rest of the Heart of Night and Fire series that are out, I know was on Hoopla.
Yeah, they are in
So,
Hoopla.
They're also on KU.
oh
So
well, I don't have KU, so I've been using Hoopla. But right now KU's another expense I just can't afford right now. So Hoopla is a free version, which
my
works.
brain's like,
Yeah.
just my brain's like, go buy all the books. Then my brain's like, no, you've got Christmas presents to buy, and if you decide to move, and I'm out of space on my shelves right now in here for TBR books in this room. So
I mean, if you look behind Jess in her studio when she films her videos,
And that's actually not where my books are kept. They're all on this wall that you can't see, but there's some of
we
them.
have over 1,000,
Oh my god,
and we got rid of 3 bookcases, but we didn't get rid of
the books.
the amount of books on those bookcases. We just condensed to other shelves
I kind of
because
need.
we put a bed in the library because we have a friend that comes and stays like every other weekend,
Yeah.
so that they have a bedroom. So all the books that are high on my TBR are in here, or my faves, because Green Creek, Casey, Achilles,
Uh,
all of them are in here.
um, I do have some bookshelves in my bedroom, but there's also books in there that I also need to unhaul. Then I have like a million books out here in the living room. I have a stack so I can film my December TBR right over here, so I can film that tomorrow. And then I have a stack of books on that end table over there. And um, I should show you the mess of books under my TV over here. Oops, hold on. I didn't mean to
I
do that.
mean, just sitting next to me.
Let me see if I can show you guys. Mm,
That's a lot.
yeah, on top and on bottom.
Yeah,
So,
I'm running out of
and I have a
spaces.
few on my movie stand. So I need to do a major unhaul. I just keep pushing it off, but I'm thinking I might do some kind of like unhaul video, probably by the end of the year, just so I can
Um,
start over with a fresh new slate.
you should do the tag. Uh, the one tag that I know Books and Lala does all the time, which is like a spring cleaning your bookshelves type tag, and you
Hmm.
have to go find a book on your shelf you gave 3 stars. Go find a book on your shelf that's by an author you did not like their other book. Unhaul that.
Interesting.
Unhaul a series you'll never reread.
Huh. That's not a bad idea, actually. 'Cause I sure do need to do a big unhaul. All the ones that you saw that are underneath are ones I've read. The ones on top, um, most everything except for two, I have not read. Yeah,
Yeah, I have too
so I
much
have like
unread.
way too many books.
I have a bookcase of unread. It's just a
I've
full bookcase.
I've I've bought too many books this year, so and if we decide we're moving out of state to a new state that is more queer friendly and safe,
Jersey, we're great.
they're actually on the list.
Oh no, we're
But
great. We're a wonderful state.
but it's one of those. I already told Sterling that if we had to unhaul 95% of our library and I only keep like all-time faves to make it easy to move cross country.
Oh, don't forget your special editions.
Oh well, they ain't going nowhere. Green Creek and all of them are going nowhere, darling.
Because you did say
Now,
you were. Did you get that new special edition of the Green Creek series? You said you were getting.
I know the dazzling bookish shops got pushed to December, January now because they had issues with one of the books that came in. And I need Juniper Books to keep it up just a little bit longer so I can get through Christmas and then I can order them.
Right.
Because Juniper Books just dropped a special edition set
Oh, Green Creek?
for Green Creek with a new cover, and they're foiled. And they've only made, I think, 80 copies.
Oh my god. So they're probably insanely expensive.
It's 200 it's $264. I think 69, 64.
Damn.
I don't know how I feel about these.
I can't
But I'm
afford special
like,
editions like that.
if but I'm also like, maybe they'll just drop just the covers. Because if they do that, then it'll go down to like $75 and I'll buy that.
Have
Yeah,
you
I
even
would buy
seen?
the dust jackets. I don't think I would buy
Yeah.
Have you been? I stalk Jess's Instagram stories, so I watch all of her special editions as she puts stuff. And I'm like, dang, I wish I could get these.
Miss join the waitlist. Mystic Box and Arcane are both my favorites. I'm actually thinking about getting rid of Fairy Loot because I have all of the Fairy Loots, but Mystic and Arcane, I love.
Arcane, I've been seeing people show off a lot of Arcane books lately, and I'm like, and I was looking at the website, and that's probably the most affordable out of all of the ones that I've looked at.
And they're gorgeous. Like they're
They,
absolutely.
they're probably the most beautiful books I have ever seen, besides
Yeah.
the ones Barnes and Noble and Target put out.
Yeah.
The ones I want to do is I want to do Rainbow Crate. Because I read a lot of queer.
Yeah.
And they do special editions of queer books.
Ooh,
And they have an option where it's you get one traditionally published and one indie published each month. And they tell you the tropes and then they tell you what the books are.
Nice.
Oh, and their special editions are nice.
Yes. Granted, I do kind of want to go back to Fairy Loot, Illumicrate, and all of them and buy all of their queer books and have special editions. Now that I found for her consideration for $12 at a half price books.
I remember when you messaged me a picture and you were so excited.
There's no half price books around me, and I always have people be like, "Look what I found at half price books," and I'm like, I'm so unbelievably jealous.
Yeah, same. I don't have any half price books around me either.
Yeah.
I mean, we have no good thrift stores around my area at all. We have a Goodwill that has like hardly anything. So I can't go thrifting anywhere.
We have
I mean, I know you could do what's that one website that I used to get books off of.
Macari and Pango are the two I go to.
It was
Book Outlet.
something.
Book Outlet, or
yeah, that's it. Book Outlet. It was Book Outlet. That's the one. I used to get books off of there all the time, and I used to be a part of this other girl's coffee thing. Um, and she used to get like book outlet boxes all the time. So I used
Okay, I know
her,
who we're talking about.
yeah. So I used her code to start my first book outlet order, and then I started getting book outlet for like a while because they were so cheap, and then I just randomly stopped all of a sudden for no good reason. I just stopped because I've been mostly getting my books through Target or Amazon or Barnes and Noble. Lately, I only go to Barnes and Noble for special editions that I want, the Barnes and Noble exclusive editions that I really want. For example, like The Stars Are Dying, I had to have the Barnes and Noble one because I did not want a Target sticker on my book for that
And
one.
remember, Barnes and Noble, over the last 3 years, right after Christmas, they have a huge sale. Like it's like
Yes.
50%. Like I go every day after Christmas for the last 2 years.
50% off of
Wow.
hardbacks.
Yep.
I'll have to save some money for that
Yep.
because I know December is a busy month with finances for sure.
And I know
So
Target's currently still doing the buy two get one free.
I thought that was done.
A friend of mine sent me a thing saying they extended it to the end of the month.
Ooh.
I think.
Like what? Do you know the exact date? Because I could get my dad to take me book shopping on Saturday. My dad's gonna
Let
be in
me
town this
pull up
Saturday.
what she sent me.
Well, my
Till the
dad.
30th.
Oh, that's
Yes,
not, yeah,
on
you're good.
Because
Saturday.
she saw it on Facebook. Somebody shared it and she's like something, and I was like, and they always have that sale when I am broke.
So I know exactly what to tell my dad when he says, "What do you need?" I'm gonna say, "Not that I need, but I want more books." My dad will take me book shopping whenever he's in town, or he'll get me literally anything I need if I need it.
And
So
Saturday at midnight, so you're good. Yep.
yeah,
Just double check.
I haven't seen my dad since May, so I'm looking forward to seeing him this weekend.
Aw.
I don't get to see my family as often as I'd like, unfortunately, but um, yeah, I'm glad my
Lucky.
dad's gonna be in town because he's usually in Michigan most of the time.
Again, lucky. I have to see mine all the time. Another positive of if we leave this state, we're going north. I have no family north. They all live in red states, and I ain't going to a red state.
uh, uh.
Once again, Jersey. Blue for a long
I mean,
time.
like I showed her, I have a list of the order of safety states to go live in.
Like literally before we
Granted,
talked in, Jess, he was really showing me this list.
New Jersey is number 29 out of 51.
That's okay. We
They
have a
did get a
bad rep.
C rating.
We have a bad rep. It's fine. Jersey Shore did a lot, but we're a very we're a really good state. I'm trying to kill the stigma.
But they are highlighted as one of the top 5 queer friendly states to go to.
Yep.
Uh, I've never been to Jersey. However, I've been in New York because I have family in New York.
I've only been to every southern state and then Indiana, and then I was in Massachusetts for Salem for one weekend.
I don't think I've ever been to the South. I've only been to like PA, like more city areas.
You're not missing much.
I used to go to camp in Pennsylvania. I used to go to camp in the Poconos,
Oh yeah.
called Camp Lemar. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's a
No,
camp
but
for
I've been to
people.
Poconos a lot.
It's a camp for people with disabilities. So I went from when I was like 13, 14 till I was like almost 17.
Did you like it?
I I did really enjoy it actually.
That's
I
good.
used to be in a junior cabin, and then I moved up to a senior cabin as I got older. And we actually they took us on trips. Like if you wanted to go on like my mom would have to sign me up like before I even went to camp and give permission to go on these trips. So I got to go on a day trip to Hershey Park. I got to go on an overnight to Boston,
That's
and we went to the aquarium there. I think I was
Boston's
there for
huge.
like 2 nights, and I went to New York City. for a night, and we saw Beauty and the Beast on Broadway when
Aw.
Chrissy Krause and Romano was playing Belle at the time.
Oh
My
God, that
friend,
is a throwback.
my friend was in that show. He played Chip. I went to college with him, and it was, yeah. That's like the only thing he ever did. But he will say that anytime you meet him, when he meets strangers, that is like his trivia fact.
Yeah, I miss those days when we got to go on all those trips. I haven't been to that camp since I graduated high school, but I had some good times. I guess we kind of deviated off the path of the book,
I think it's because all of us didn't really understand the book. Well, not
right?
understand it, but the
Like
magic system.
it was a fun ride. It's just some of the things like I'm probably still gonna give it a 4
Mm,
because judging it based off of last month's book
mm.
being contract bound and that one being like every freaking page was about sex and that wasn't what we thought it was going to be going into it.
I know we were hoping for like so much. I even asked Jess if she wanted to join us for that one. Um, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think Jess would have liked it that much.
That was, which one was that? Was that the vampire one?
Yeah, it was
Vampire female
like,
female relationship.
oh, I hate vampires. Ooh, I want her to do that to me. Ooh, can she throw me on the bed? Ooh, she's so pretty. Oh, I can't, I don't know why I like
It's
her
like
like
she couldn't
this.
keep her hands off of her, and all she wanted to do was put her back in bed. And like it was like scene after scene after scene of it. I'm like, I just want to move the plot to move along. Can we
But
like?
it's not listed as erotica. She has a book on her list that's labeled a demon erotic novella. And I'm like, well, how much sex is in the erotic novella? Like it was more sex, less plot. And then when you got to the plot like was rushed. I still want to know what
Yeah,
happens, so I'm going to finish the duet.
yeah. I mean, I had Ray listening to it with me, and he was like really getting annoyed with all the bed scenes, and he's like, "Can we move on?" And I'm like, I kept saying too, like as
I
soon as like
fast
one
forward through
scene
them.
finished, I'm like another one started, and I'm like again out
I
loud.
love it coming up, but it is classified as erotica.
Okay.
If that makes you guys feel better.
Okay.
I
Okay.
did not know that. I went into it
Yeah,
thinking it was gonna be like at least more plot than there was.
yeah, no, it
I
says
was
in the answer.
thinking I knew there would be sex in it because
I
it's a
was
vampire
expecting some.
story. I
Yeah,
was expecting the plot to be a lot more heavy and a lot more like to
yeah.
give us stuff to talk about. We had nothing to talk about.
But
I
now
mean,
that we
it was
brought
the
it up,
shortest live show we ever had.
were there vampires? I was confused. There were vampires,
Yes,
weren't there?
yes, they were vampires.
That was
There
random.
was there was a few in the beginning. Yeah,
Okay, because I was like, I thought there
Vic and Yasin and their entire family are
are
vampires.
vampires. Okay, that's what I thought, and then I was like, I don't remember it coming back up, and I'm like,
yeah. Because she was trying to Dario was trying to save some of them. I think it was,
okay,
Hmm.
okay, yeah, I wasn't sure,
and
but
she almost died herself in the process by trying to save them.
yes, I do remember that.
Also, can we talk about like the one like sex scene that I remember coming out of nowhere after she's in that dream sequence with
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Rabin?
with herself, where she kind of just like,
Yeah, I was like reading it, and then the C word popped up, and I went, "Whoa, whoa, is that what she's doing?"
I
Oh,
feel like yeah, I feel like the author kind of just put it in there to make it like spicy. Like it didn't need to be there,
it was
really.
like thrown out
I
of
didn't
nowhere,
really
and I'm
feel
like
much
listening
romance,
to it. I was
Yeah.
right?
listening to it, doing something at work, and when it said that she was rubbing the C, and I went, "What? Whoa, hold on. Is she actually? I that is not what I thought she was doing." So
Yeah,
I paused it and I went back and like read the entire scene. I was like, okay, there's nothing in here until that paragraph.
I also think it's because of how it was written. Like I was expecting her to more like allude to it, and then like
Yeah.
going. I wasn't expecting like full on details out of nowhere when we hadn't gotten anything like that prior.
And it was throughout the entire book, she was like, yeah, I would love to do more, but we're never going to.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, so we're alluding to that they did things. But now it was like, where did this come from? It was
I
like,
agree
I
with
didn't mind it. It just was so out of, just out of the norm. And I'm like, okay.
Right.
I agree. I do think also that scene where the girl dies, one of the girls dies, and then I think
Oh
where
yeah,
they're
that was
moving
sad.
over the cliff. That scene I
Yeah.
thought was really like powerful. I think she did a really good job with that because I was
With
upset.
the flood.
Yeah, so
With
was
the
I.
flood.
I was tearing up, and I was working at the time.
Yeah, that part was sad.
It was. Also, another character I do not like is the water chick.
Which one was that
Uh
again?
Saruna, the one who caused the flood.
Oh, yeah, not
Oh,
yeah,
Because she's the one that had the guard or the soldier touch the egg.
yeah.
yeah, I didn't like her very much either.
She's like, gotta kill the lot to save the important people. And I'm like, I don't like your mentality right now. I need you to go. You're
Right?
not in charge. Bye bye.
I
Yep.
mean, Zarya was trying to tell her it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, there were a few
And
characters.
every time she alluded to like the darkness being the evil, and it's that one dude doing it. My prediction for the future is she's working for the bad guy
It's an interesting prediction.
because she kept mentioning the king, Rose, former king or
Mm-hmm.
former
Oh, you're
emperor,
right.
being the bad guy, and she kept bringing him up and kept bringing him up and going, I don't trust her. I don't trust her. Blah 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 blah. I don't trust
Right.
you because you're being a little too obvious
Right.
with it. So that is my prediction: is that she's going to work for the bad guy,
Mm. I
I
wouldn't
can
be
see
surprised.
and that
I mean,
she's the one that caused the fire. She's the one that lit them in. She's the one that's been doing everything to get everybody damaged
right.
and hurt.
Do we think her mom's gonna pop up in the next book? Or like more information?
I think so.
We probably get more information as the series goes, but I don't think we'll know anything for sure until probably the last book.
I wonder if her mother was turned into something.
What do you mean
Like
by
if he can turns into a dragon,
oh,
could she have been turned into an animal or something? Like she turned herself to hide
Oh,
herself.
to go into hiding?
that's
And
a
that is why
possibility.
there's been no sign of her. Or was
Probably
she
afraid of
captured?
showing up.
I think she was captured by the dad. The
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where she is. Would be my
Yeah.
guess.
See that's another guess. So it was like it's either that or she's like hidden as like an animal or something. Or she changed her looks and
Mhm.
she's hidden in plain sight.
Ooh, what if she's one of the girls that are already in the castle? What's her name? The one maid that's been really nice to her.
Did they have a name? Because if so, I don't think I heard it.
I remember there was a maid that was really, really nice to Zarya. I wonder if that's her in disguise.
I know who you're talking about, and I have no idea what their name is.
I don't
Oh,
remember her name either.
no, the chick I don't like is Suvana. Because I see her name. It's Suvanna
uh,
is the water chick. Um, but she would have to change a lot about her looks, though.
Yeah, because everyone there knew her, like would recognize her.
And that they look like twins.
Yeah.
so, I mean, maybe she knows how to disguise herself really well. I don't know. Maybe she's done it before many, many times, and this is just another disguise of hers.
Yeah, who knows?
And do we know how did her okay, so the brother that was seeing her in the dreams, he unbound her magic, right? Or is that someone else?
No, he had her unbind her
Oh,
own magic.
okay.
Yeah,
He showed her how to do it.
yeah, he helped her.
But how does he know how to do it? We don't know.
We don't know.
Okay.
I think he knows more than he's letting on. In all honesty.
I think so too. Like, there's no way. I think he is
And
like
if he
playing.
disappeared, I wonder, is he an apprentice to her father?
That could be possible.
That's
I
not
mean, there was a reason Ro hid her all these years. Maybe so that way he couldn't find her.
Or
Use her in some way.
if he doesn't end up being the love interest, could he be her father in disguise?
I hope not.
And the brother
Weird.
actually be dead? That would be weird. Sorry,
That would be
never
weird.
mind.
I'm not okay with any of that.
I think it's a little
Not
bit
okay
too
with
weird,
this. Never
but-
mind. It made sense in my head. Okay.
Too many explanations there. I'm like, no, I don't like that.
They haven't done anything yet. Okay.
I mean, we don't even know this is going to be a love triangle yet. So I guess we'll have to see in the next book. I do want to continue just to see if any of our predictions come true.
Yes.
That'd be interesting to find out.
I don't know if I'll continue. I'm more open to continuing the other series than this series as of now. But we'll see.
Amanda and
that
I
first
will
book was
continue
kinda
and then we'll
confusing.
let you know.
Yes, please do. If it's good, I'll jump back in.
Yeah, I'll probably put off reading the rest of the series for now. I have other books I want to get to, especially since we're going to be doing Fourth Way next month.
I'm so excited.
Right?
You haven't read it yet, right? At all?
No, I haven't. I have been putting it off and saying that I would never read it.
Why?
And I wanted to read it so badly.
It got way too hyped too fast.
It did.
And
But
normally with things that get hyped that fast, I don't tend to like them. I like them before the hype. Like, I read ACOTAR before ACOTAR got big. The weekend I read ACOTAR was around the time that I discovered that people were actually reading ACOTAR.
Mm.
But I hate From Blood and Ash. Like, I DNF'd it 4 different times at 100 pages.
yeah.
Steve just loves that one.
I do. It wasn't like there's, but that's also one I read before. I read that when it was back in Indie Pub. There wasn't even an audiobook. I was like physically read that. It took me over 3 months.
I bought the Bookish Box special editions and spent like $200 on them for me to DNF and just give them to a friend.
Wow. $200.
So, and Nat Sterling still makes fun of me for stuff like that. So now it's like if I'd order a special edition, they either have to be an author I've read before or something I've read.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to buy things that I haven't read. But in its defense, I did read a Jennifer L. Armentrout and enjoyed it. Just decided never to continue on with the series because I found out it was a spin-off of another series and I just didn't care.
Oh, Harbinger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read the first one and enjoyed it.
I really enjoy that series.
I liked that
But-
series. I thought it was solid.
But at the time that I read it, I was behind on so many other things that I went, okay, I put it down and was like, let me finish all these series, and now I just have no interest in going back to start
Yeah.
that old of a YA to continue with the world.
Have either of you read the Jay Bree book, A Crown of Oaths and Curses?
Not yet, but I found out about the audio almost as soon as you did. So,
That's what I'm nervous about because of all the hype. But now the second book is getting a lot of mixed reviews, so like I'm super nervous to jump into it because it's thick.
Mm-hmm. I haven't even read the novellas yet. So
I read the novellas; they were good.
I don't know where to find the audios for those.
I read them on KU.
Okay.
I am a little bit more interested in Broken Bonds.
I have the special editions of that series.
But
Buy 2 series, so
Yep.
but isn't that the one that Nikki really loves? Or did Nikki really hate it? Because if Nikki hated it, then I'll like it. But if she loves it, then I probably won't.
I don't think she liked it that much. I think she was kind of middle of the road on it. I know Bonded by Thorns was recommended to Dana, and I know Dana was going to read that. But that's by Elizabeth Helen. It's a separate series.
I own the first one of
But
that, and a friend of mine is obsessed with that series right now. She sent me a clip of the audio, and she's like, I didn't know that there was going to be Mel actions in this. I've
There's-
never read anything with a Mel scene.
The first book is actually only male, like that's the only spicy scene, and I was not like that was it. So I was like, when's the girls gonna get kind of involved? I'm okay with this, but I was expecting the like main character to kind of.
She messaged me, and she was like, I've never read a scene like this, and I don't know how I feel about it. And she's like, that's weird. That's something that you do, not what I do. So I don't understand the logistics of this, and I don't know if I don't know how to feel about it. And I was just like, it's the same. I read all the same books you read. I just read
I
a
feel
lot
like that's
more
a series
than you.
that Nikki read, not Bonded.
The bonds that tie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's Elizabeth Helen one. I think that's the one that Nikki read, not the Jay Bree one. I think.
Or no, it was Kaylani that read it then. One of the girls read it.
Kehlani read it.
One of the girls read it and either really loved it or really did not.
I think it was Kehlani that loved it.
Okay, then I might actually enjoy it then.
It's very much a hit or miss series because all of my friends hate it, but I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great.
Well, you like Green Creek, so yeah. we're gonna kind of align.
It's very different. Yeah. It's very different. I will say it's definitely more spicy and a little bit darker, but it's really good. I loved it.
I don't mind spice.
I think a lot of Jess's recommendations that go onto my wish list.
I mean, same. I'm now getting back into fantasy.
Yeah.
Because I went 2 years without reading a lot of fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just wasn't hitting anymore.
Not fantasy romance, but Sword of Kagan is the best book I've ever read, I think, in my entire life. So I highly recommend if either of you have not read that yet.
I haven't. It's funny you say that though, Jess, because as soon as you mentioned it in one of your videos, I was watching it with my fiance Ray. As soon as Ray heard you talk about it and that your Issa and your husband wanted you to read it, he was like, "Well, I know Ray said, well, if your husband's asking you to read it, then maybe he should too." So he also got the audiobook, but he hasn't started it yet.
Aww.
So no, you were thinking about maybe trying to buddy read it, possibly. The Sword of Kagan.
I'm interested.
He's back in the room now, so now he's like,
I heard him.
But it's high fantasy, so
yeah, we both want to check it out though, because I want to read Blood Over Bright Haven.
I'm
going to read that. But I've heard the Sword of Kagan is her first, so I'm like, maybe I should read that first before I try Blood Over Bright Haven, because I want to read Blood Over Bright Haven the most. However, I've heard people say you should read the Sword of Kagan first, so I'm like, maybe I should go with that. And then
the only issue with the Sword of Kagan is I feel like it's ruined books for me. Like I'm now every single book I've read since it, I'm just comparing to Sword of Kagan, which is an issue.
See, I want to read it, but at the same time, I'm like, it's a high fantasy, and they don't always work for me.
Same. That's why I've been debating.
It's a lot of woman empowerment in there. Like that's a lot of what the chunk of the book is, but there's so much like the action is written in such a way. Also, you will cry the entire time you're reading it. I've never stopped or ugly cried so hard. Like all the voice memos to my friend who told me to read it was just me hysterically crying. So there's that.
I mean, everywhere I turn, like everyone that I watch seems to love the Sword of Kagan. So I'm like, now that Jess has read it and loved it, maybe I should too.
And if you said you cried through most of it, I'm always here for some torture to make me cry.
No, you don't. There are scenes that like I was crying and I was talking to my husband and I was like, I just got to this part, and then he starts crying. He's like, that's not the worst part. And I was like, oh my god, it's a lot.
It sounds like what you were telling me, Clem, about Say You Swear.
Oh my god. Say You Swear, I literally had to pull over into a parking spot to cry so that I could drive because I
Aw.
couldn't see. Because when a thing happens in it, have you read Say You Swear?
Not yet.
Okay, there's a thing that happens, and then another thing happens, and then another thing happens. It's like a back to back to back
Yeah.
almost, and it's just like, oh. It was a physical reaction of literally I had to pull over and bawl, which is why I have 3 copies of it, soon to be 4.
I did that with Redeeming Sex. I was on 295, which is like a major highway, and something happened, and I was like, I gotta pull over because I just started crying. But I also have 3 copies of that book, so
I
I
mean,
also like trauma.
I
Song of
have tried
Achilles.
Binding 13, but I didn't love it as much as everybody has. I think I ended up giving it a 3-star, and then I just haven't continued. I feel
Yeah.
like I feel like I need to connect to the characters more to really enjoy something. And I just didn't feel like I connected to them. I know like it's a lot of very heavy topics in it, but I was just, and usually I don't mind that. It's just I think it's because of their age. I just couldn't connect.
Yeah, it took me a while to get into it because they are younger, and I don't read a lot of like high school romances, but then I just became in love with them. So
The audio for Binding 13 made me DNF the book.
oh,
I couldn't get something about the narrations was like irritating me for some reason.
I love their
So I tried to
accent.
just I liked the accent, but something about it I couldn't concentrate, and her voice for some reason was the one that I wanted to punch. I don't know why, but it just didn't work for me.
Right.
I was like, I'm gonna just physically read this, and as I'm physically reading, I can just hear them. So I went, not a book for me. We can unhaul. We're just I bought it because of the FOMO.
Yep.
We can honestly believe that, and that can go away. I tried.
I was like that with A Touch of Golden Madness because the author is the same author that I think does Poppy from Blood and Ash. So the entire time I was reading it, I'm like, so Poppy's doing this. Oh wait, that's not. And I just couldn't take myself out. So I was like, I give up. I can't. It's not gonna work.
I never
There,
read. You said Poppy War, right?
No, from Blood and Ash, the main character's name is
Oh,
Poppy.
from Blood and Ash. Okay, I read that book like years and years and years ago, before it even got real famous. Um, and I enjoyed it and really liked it. And apparently, I rated it like 5 stars, and I don't remember anything.
are we
So
talking Poppy War or
I've
from
been
Blood and Ash?
collecting the whole series. From
Oh,
Blood
from
and
Blood
Ash.
and Ash. Okay.
So I've collected, and my dad's helped me collect the series as well, as well as a prequel series, including Born of Blood and Ash. I have that now. Um, so I've been waiting for all the books to come out. So when they're finally done,
You
I
guys
can
binge
do
them?
like a video project of just reading the whole series in publication order because I know that's the way you're supposed to do it.
Yes.
So I got the list off of her website of how you're supposed to read it.
Yeah.
So
Publication order is definitely the best because I know some people are trying to read the prequel and then do the actual series, and that's going to ruin everything.
Yeah, so I know there's a specific order you need to go by. So I've been waiting for like all the books to finally be done before I dive into it because I don't want to have to like wait for the next book if I'm really loving it.
That's fair.
So since I know I loved the first book previously, I'm pretty sure I'm going to love it. I just want to wait until all the books are out before I do it.
Yeah. I'm not caught up. I still have to catch up on it.
You're just gonna dive into a Jennifer L. Armentrout like backlist of like everything.
Right? I also have her whole Covenant series with the new covers and the sprayed edges, and I want to do a video project on that as well. Now that I have them all, so I'll be doing a lot of Jennifer L. Armentrout videos in the next year, probably.
Hey, she's one of my favorites. I love her so much.
Right? I read other books from her, like I read the Harbinger series, and before I realized it's actually a sequel series. And then I attempted to read. I think it was White Hot Kiss is the first one,
Yeah, White
the
Hot Kiss.
original series. I did read that, but I never finished that series. But I probably should because I
It's
really
okay.
like White Hot Kiss. But I love Trinity in the Harbinger series, so I would love to see like another spin-off series with her in it. But and I've also read her newest
A
book.
Fall of something something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Fall of Wrath and Ruin,
is that
yeah. That's Fate
Wrath
and
and
Wrath and Ruin. Is that it?
or
Something like
Ruin
that.
and Wrath.
it's
I
a
don't know.
little
All these titles are the same these days. Of something and something
Right?
that I forget what's
They
what.
all kind of run into each other. Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
Ruin and Wrath. Okay.
I have the Barnes and Noble exclusive edition of it, so I read that and absolutely loved it. So um, I, I'm sure she's. I'm waiting for her to come out with a second book. I know there's gonna be a second book,
There should
but
be, I would think soon, because that book came out a while ago.
yeah,
I mean, how long
I've been waiting
have
for
we been waiting
that
for the
next
next
book to come
ACOTAR?
out.
So
I don't even want to talk about it. I
If
feel
I
like
know, I'll be buying it as soon as it comes out.
that's not going to be coming out, I feel like, for a while, unfortunately.
I
Oh,
heard
that's sad.
rumors that we might be getting an announcement for it next year.
That'd be good. Well, still, we probably wouldn't get it then until 2026, I would
That's
think.
sad.
Sad.
Well, I know she's been really working on this from Blood and Ash and the prequel series. I know she's trying to get all those books out. There's
Yeah.
another book in that series coming out next year as well.
Hmm.
Primal of something and something. Primal Blood and Vengeance, maybe? Is that it?
That sounds right.
Includes like when are these books ever going to be done?
No, my thing is can we come up with new titles and stop doing the of something and something and
I
of
just like the
something and
title.
something? Every like fantasy book is like blank of blank and blank.
Right?
I feel like we're starting to get away from it. There was a solid, like, 8 years of just straight books like that.
I blame ACOTAR. ACOTAR and From Blood and Ash ruined every title.
They
Because
did.
their popularity, all the rest of the titles were like, "Oh, we have to do this sequence," and I'm like, "Can we stop?" Because you're talking about a book, and I'm like, "Which series are we talking about?"
That's the issue is you'll, like, mix them up because they sound so similar.
God. I mean, there's two Lady of Darknesses.
Is there?
I know there's a Melissa K. Roach one.
Yeah, that's the one I
I
know.
know I know Jess has talked about it on her channel a bunch of times, and I really am excited.
I know.
Stay tuned next week, Jess, for a special announcement because some of the stuff that you told, suggestions you gave Clint, you might see some of them
We
first in our special announcement.
I know one of them inspired for us to go back and do the original series from something
Oh,
you suggested,
oh, okay.
and one that you suggested and you loved right before you sent it to us
Mm.
got us where we're like, "Ooh, we gotta read this."
Yeah, because I have the first one, and I think it was because of Jess that I got the first one. So,
And then
excited for it.
Karina stated that she really wanted to read a book, so that's our January. And that justifies me spending $30 on a book when I shouldn't have. Just
and
because
then
it's pretty.
there's another one that's the third one that we decided on. I'm excited for that because Jess has been raving about it. So
I'm trying to think of what book I've been raving about.
you recently talked about it.
And then we have two others selected for next year that come out the month. We're going to do it the month after they actually come out.
To give people time like to get the books.
We got the book. That's good.
Yeah.
Like, one's like a super, super popular author. And I'm excited for the book.
Yeah, I think I know exactly which one you're talking about because I'm excited for that one too.
Because we're reading it in July, and I'm excited.
Oh yeah, that's the one because it comes out the day
in
before my
June.
birthday.
Is it the Run Holly? Is it that one? That's
No.
sequel? No, it's a different one.
Oh no, this
the one
is a
that Cliff's
start.
talking about is a different one.
This is a start. I think it might be a standalone.
Is
That
it?
comes out in June?
Yeah, it comes out the day before my birthday. So I'm super excited.
I can't think of anything.
Well, my birthday is June 11th.
Bones is all I'm gonna say. Is in the title.
As soon as we're done this, it's immediately going to come to me.
Well, the reason why we're not, saying all the actual titles is because we want to share them in our announcement videos.
No, I know. I actually enjoy. I want to guess it, but I'm just trying to think. What has Bones in the title?
Yeah, it literally comes out the day before my birthday, which is June 11th. So
Okay.
I'm very excited.
The author has wrote middle grade, has wrote YA, and adults.
That immediately makes you think of like Schwab.
And one of her books has an open ending. And I know you've talked about her on your channel before too.
Granted, I have only read 2 things by her now, one adult and one YA that are both standalones. The YA is Gothic.
I actually bought one of her box sets because I've been wanting to read one of her series that I haven't read yet.
I want to read more of her.
Leigh Bardugo?
No.
Not Victoria Schwab and not Leigh Bardugo.
Well, we never said.
We didn't say.
Okay. So I might have been on the right. I might have been on the right path there. Okay.
And no to Leigh Bardugo, because the only thing I've liked by Leigh Bardugo was
I love Leigh Bardugo.
I only liked the first series, and I ended up DNFing Six of Crows.
That's sad, because Six of Crows.
And one of my most hated and fastest DNFs was Ninth House. There was like 20 of us trying to read it, and all of us DNF'd it, but Karina.
I totally forgot about this book. I forgot it existed. That makes a lot of sense. I'm also excited about reading that.
I think I gave Ninth House 4 stars, and then Hellbent I thought was better than Ninth House.
I liked Hellbent more than Ninth House.
I just thought it was funny. We had a buddy read, and Karina was the only one who finished it, and the rest of us all DNF'd around the same point.
Right?
We all went, no, this ain't for us. And none of us mentioned that we were DNFing. Until someone was like, I'm sorry, I can't. And the rest of us like, what page did you get to? Because I DNF'd at this page. I just DNF'd at this page. I just DNF'd at this page.
Was it the bathroom scene? I feel like the bathroom scene is where a lot of people are like, I'm done with this.
Right?
If there's like a ghost in the bathroom and it's like really dark. Because I know my friend DNF'd Ninth House around that time.
I don't remember where exactly. I remember I was like 100 and something. I think 110 pages in.
Okay, that's actually right, probably around there.
I love Shadow and Bone though.
Shadow and Bone, really good. Love that series.
I still need to watch the Netflix show. Mm-hmm. I've read. The only ones I haven't read from Leigh Bardugo yet are King of Scars and Rule of Wolves, and the short story collection that she's got. Those are the only ones I haven't read from her yet. But everything else I have. But I wanted to read the that King of Scars duology before I watched the show. But then somebody told me they did not include those books in the show.
They didn't.
So
I'm still sad that I DNF'd Six of Crows because I was so excited to actually read it. But I've realized a lot of heisty kind of books just aren't for me. Some have worked, so I will give them a try, but I DNF more heist books than finishing them.
I actually read though. I read A Tempest of Tea because it reminded me of Six of Crows. And I know Jess talked about that on her channel before too.
I'm not a fan, but yeah. I'm trying to. I don't think I've read many other heists. I can't think of any other books. Six of Crows is the one that really stands out.
I DNF'd the Roshani Chachki one.
I forgot about that one.
Wolves. Mm-hmm. You put wolves in the title of a book, 9 out of 10. I'm gonna try to read it.
I have it. I haven't read it yet though, but I want.
And I love Roshani Chachki's writing because I love Aru Shah.
Is that the one? No. Who wrote? I just got a book from Fairy Loot that was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, it was because
Oh,
of you. I wanted that spinning.
yeah.
It was because of Jess. I want that spinning shelf.
Yes.
I was trying to remember who it was that showed a spinning shelf on their channel one day. I was like, was it Ashley or was it Jess? I couldn't remember. I'm like, oh yeah, it's you.
I feel like a lot of us randomly got this, but I think I have a discount code still from one of my videos. But Saba to hear, I want to read this at some point because I feel like
The Air.
gorgeous. Yeah.
I need to finish. I started the first book of what's it called? The first book in the original series, and I know audio, and I have not finished.
Torch
it.
of the Night is book 2. What is book 1?
And, oh yeah, and Ember in the Ashes. That's
There we go.
Yeah.
I was like, it's something of something.
Of course it is.
I started it, and I was liking it, and then I just stopped randomly because I was attempting to try a chapter of a couple of other audiobooks to see if I wanted to read one or the other, and I went with a different one, and I never went back to Ember in the Ashes. So it's still marked in my Goodreads as currently reading, even though I need to continue it. I have a lot of books I need to continue.
I need to finish Quicksilver before the end of the year.
Yes, Quicksilver's good.
Now that we have the audio, because I was physically reading it and I got to like 200 and something pages in, but physically reading at that time in October was like going downhill because I didn't have time to actually sit down and physically read. And I was enjoying it, but I was like, I need the audio, so hopefully December I will actually finish Quicksilver.
I liked it. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it.
Because I was really, really enjoying it. I just know I need the audio to finish.
And the audio is great.
Once you do, you should join Jess's Patreon ASAP because of a special live show coming up considering that book. And so if you can finish it very, very soon.
You can finish it in a week. We have a lot.
Oh, that ain't gonna happen. Listen, I need to read my Ba book before Sunday. As long as that one gets read this month, I don't care what else gets finished. This week
I had to finish Vows and Ruin by our live show, which is on the 1st as well. And I'm like 2 chapters into that. So
and I'm glad it's at night.
Top Secret.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah, I'm glad that live show's at night because I got plans during the day. So I'm like, cool. Glad it's at night.
Yeah, it's actually exactly when the Eagles game starts, and I didn't realize that until I already had announced it. So that's kind of sad, but at least I'll be able to watch like the last half.
Right.
Fine.
Just set up your laptop with the TV behind you.
Oh no, it will be. This is the second time I've made a live show exactly when the game starts. So I had the game going on one monitor, and then I was doing the live show over here. And I randomly screamed, and I'm like, "Sorry, guys!" And then I was explaining that we had a touchdown, but yeah.
But I am excited for that show because that's the one show I've been waiting for out of all the ones. So I'm like, because I read it, I think is it September or October?
October is when everybody buddy read it.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be me, Clint, and then a few of our other friends. We were all buddy reading Quicksilver together. I was the first one to finish it.
I think me and Dana.
I read it physically.
Were the ones that DNF'd to wait for the audio.
I DNF'd to wait for the audio. I started it physically because everyone was loving it, and I was like, it's going to take me forever. And luckily, the audio dropped like 3 weeks later.
I gave it a 4.5.
Honestly, I forget a lot. I have to go back and look through my notes, but I remember a lot.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at usually remembering the books that I read. I very rarely forget unless it's been like years and years and I don't remember anymore.
I remember scenes I like, but to actually like hold a live show and like keep conversation going, I need to write down like little notes and things like that.
I have
Sometimes it
a
helps to have
couple.
more people on camera too, so that way you're not like talking by yourself.
Yeah.
That's why I never do sprints on my channel by myself because like I have nobody to talk to.
Sometimes I'm okay with it. We're gonna have them again in December, every week, so that'll be fun. I'm excited to
Yeah,
have
I'm excited for that. You really should join her Patreon club. We have a lot of fun things.
December is fun. We're doing a lot of fun stuff in December.
I know, see, like with Ba, with my other book club, it originally was just me and Hope.
Hmm.
And the way we used to do it was just Mel Mel romances. But it ended up being just us two were the only ones who had read the book. And it wasn't the live shows were fun to talk about, but it also got a little like where we were like, nobody else is enjoying these, like it's not going anywhere. So now we have a third permanent host, and then we bring on somebody every month
Oh,
to
good.
read, and we're reading different queer rom-coms.
Yeah,
And
it says you kind of base. Oh
Bob.
yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I made bookmarks for the guest hosts for next year.
Oh, that's cute.
That
You
is
should help me
cute.
make ones for Fiction Falls. That'd be so cool.
My thing is we don't map out our entire year though with Fiction Falls. I mapped out the entire
Oh, we
year
can.
Oh,
for
I love
Ba.
that. That's so
But
cool.
Well, if you ever
for
decide you want to, I wouldn't mind.
my thing with the Ba is I was looking for specific. Like I needed a pansexual book, I needed a trans book, I wanted a drag book, a non-binary, and some were chosen for the months. Like the trans book is in March because it's a baseball book, and
Mm,
that's when baseball season starts. We
right.
have a book by an author of color for February. We have a Hispanic Sapphic book in September because we're doing Sapphic September, but it's also the start of Hispanic Awareness Month, which is halfway in between September and October.
Mm.
So it's like I chose specific things for specific. I was on those lists for like weeks on end, looking at reviews, going, okay, this one, okay, we have this list for this, and I was making lists of these are pan books, these are trans books, these are non-binary, Mel Sapphic.
I actually added to my wish list one of your mail books that you really like, the something next door. Um, was it the guy next door, the girl next, something next door? It was a pink cover, and I'm like, this sounds interesting, so I added it to my wish list because you were raving about it.
Are you talking about the gay best friend?
Is that it? Is it a pink cover?
Are we talking about the gay best friend?
Yes, that's it. That's it. My bad.
I
I
was
got
like,
the title
next
wrong.
door.
For some reason, I was thinking next door. I don't know why.
Yeah,
But
that's the
yes,
one that
that's
I
the
did
one.
the one that I bought it the same day I bought the blind date with the book, and it ended up being
Yes,
the
that
same
one.
exact book
Oh
Yes.
in the
no,
blind date,
I hate that.
which I was fine with because I just sent it to a friend of mine who was interested in the book. But I
Hmm.
love this. This is in my top 3 of the year.
Yeah,
And
you were raving about it. I
it is
remember.
not a romance. Romance happens in it. It is not a romance.
Yeah, so it's on my wish list now.
Because there's no like happily ever after in the end. It's
It
about
has,
a
it has really good reviews.
it's about a gay guy whose two best friends are getting married, and it starts off with him going to a bachelor party, and then she questions everything that happens here because when he goes to things happen at the bachelor party that he shouldn't be seeing, and then he's there a month later with all the wives and girlfriends of everybody that was there,
Mm.
and he's having to not say what happened here.
Right.
And he also sleeps with one of the guys here, and he's with his girlfriend here.
It sounds very messy.
It is. It is amazing. And all the Southern quotes and Southern sayings in it.
Like, I can't remember what video you were talking about it in.
My
You did
blind
some
date with the book
video.
unboxing. I did an entire just unboxing
Oh
that
yeah, that
and
might have been it.
reading it.
Yeah, that might have been it. 'Cause I remember you talking and raving as you were reading, as you were going around on it, and eventually I had to add it to my wish list. I'm like, okay, this might be something I might actually would like.
Yeah, because one of the characters is like got like a Texan accent,
Mm.
and he's always saying like weird sayings.
There's a monster romance where the main guy has a heavy Texas accent, and like at first I was listening to the audiobook and I was not about it. And now I can't imagine him not having that accent. Like I absolutely loved it.
I mean, I can't. Where is it? It's on the shelf, isn't it?
Mm.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about really weird romances, I can't unhear the name, the Mount for Daddy. It is an MM mafia boss and a sentient ice cube that has no mouth, by the way.
I mean, I read a thing about sentient peeps, so I can't even.
But all I hear in this is every time the ice cube talks is I hear the actor Ice Cube.
Oh,
And then the mafia boss, I get a young version of the guy from Sopranos. If he was like more built and like younger, like I hear their voices in sex scenes and I can't unhear it. And I laughed so hard because of that.
that's fair.
I mean, it's only 51 pages,
Sounds unhinged.
and I had to buy a physical copy.
My friend April and Maggie, friends April and Maggie, they, I don't know if they still do it, but they had a book club that was just like unhinged romances, and some of them
Mhm.
were amazing. Like pumpkin spice latte. There's a sentient pumpkin spice latte. There's sentient
Yes.
suntan lotion. Mantis, praying mantis. That was a lot.
Have you guys
I,
read the Fourth by Ruth Cardello?
no,
I
those are on a list for me to read because I'm supposed to do, they keep wanting me to do because of this, doing an unhinged kind of Kindle Unlimited
and and the Kool
vlog.
Aid Man one.
Yes, the Kool Aid Man one has to be on it. It's
I
called
didn't
like
know that. I didn't
cold,
know that was one.
isn't it like called like Cold Sweat or something? Something like that.
Yeah, I
And
think that's it.
Kool-Aid Man's on it and he has a butt and it's just so hilarious. Oh, what is
Oh
it?
my
I
god.
think Sam's the one that remembered the title and no one else could remember. Remember that time we were talking about it with the girls? We were coming up with all these unhinged, crazy romances, and I stumbled upon
Yes,
Fourth.
Cold Sweat.
No, I found it. It's yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, just because of that cover, we have to read it. But I remember when Julie from Pages and Pens, she used to do these themed vlogs where she would choose like leprechauns, sharks, dinosaurs, aliens, Santa Claus, gnomes. And for one weekend, she would read as many unhinged like romances and would talk about them in a vlog. Especially the one that I remember the most is the gnomes.
That would freak me out. I wouldn't like that one.
There's one. All I remember is she was talking about one where she was like involved a lawn chair, a gnome, and a fist, and she's like, "I can't get this out of my head, and I need to go confess my sins." And I feel like I'm just ugh. She's like, "I don't know if I can continue with this vlog," because she's like, "There's just one scene," and I just vividly remember the look on her face of horror, and I'm like, "What is the name of this?" And I need to know why you're so horrified.
I feel like that's what I look like anytime I read most CM Nacosta books because I'm never prepared and they're always just, they're a lot.
Right?
They're a lot.
I mean, my mother the other day, not the other day, a couple weeks ago, because my mom uses my KU. She also uses my Audible. But my mom was looking up things, and she's like, oh, this one's like a Halloweeny, spooky kind of thing involving a pumpkin. And she was reading it, and she's like, I get a text from her going, what the hell am I reading?
I know exactly the
A
one you're
pumpkin, something about carve your heart or something.
Oh my God.
And it was like the pumpkin becomes a sentient being and is the stem. And my mother's like, I've never read anything like this, and I don't know how I feel. And then she finished it, and she's like, are there more like this? And I was like, I don't need to know this, Mom.
I didn't want to know that about you, Mom.
Now you go on my Kindle, or when you're looking up on Amazon, all the monster romances and weird romances that it says that I've read. No, I haven't touched that. I did not borrow that. That is not on my list.
That was my mom.
And sometimes I have to go back into Goodreads to make sure, because it'll say currently reading. No, I am not. No, I am not. No, I am not. Because I had a friend like message me going, you're really reading that? No, I am not. My mother is, and she's like, oh. You can tell my mother's bored.
Yeah, I don't think my mom ever discovered those kind of things, which is good.
But my mother and I have read the same Megan Brandy books. We've read the same Lucy Score books. So it's like, I mean, when I was a kid, I used to sneak in her room and grab her mass market romances, and I would read them because they were the only books in the house that I hadn't read. Granted, that was back in the day when my mother was very much obsessed with Native American cowboy romances that are probably not good and do not hold up.
Yeah.
Because this was the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, I read Blue Smoke by Nora Roberts at the age of like 13.
I was 14 when I first read Nora Roberts.
I should not have been reading that then.
I think I was like 12 when I read my first V.C. Andrews, or like actually younger than that. I was definitely younger than that. I think it was like 10 because I read it at my grandmother's house.
God, no. I saw the cover of those books and went, nope, nope, not touching. And my mom's like, good boy, don't touch that.
Oh no, my grandma was like, oh, she's reading, she can have it. And I was not. Nope, it was not good.
I mean, reading's a better hobby than other things you could get into.
I guess.
I told my mom I could be buying drugs.
Right?
She's
I
like,
said that to my husband. I was like, it could be drugs. It's books.
Right?
I feel like it's better.
she just looks at me and she's like, it is a drug for your brain.
But it's a good drug for your brain.
Yes, but it's good. She's like, so your entire romance section is good for your brain? Makes you smarter? I was like, shut up.
It makes us happier. That's what matters.
Right?
What we need.
But I have to call it, guys. It's 9:00, and I have to be up at 4:45 in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, fun.
Oh no.
I know.
I just want to go through Kay's comments because I feel bad I haven't gotten to her. But thank you, Kay, for showing up and supporting. And we will always hydrate.
Yes, hydrate or mummify.
So, sorry, Kay, didn't get your comments till now, but thank you for showing up. We appreciate it. Quick final rating. I'm dropping to a 3.
Honestly, I think I'm dropping to a 3 as well.
I think I'm dropping to a 3.5.
Okay, that's fair.
That's fair.
Because Contract Bound got dropped to like a 3, and this I still think is better than Contract Bound.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
but thank you guys for having me and inviting me.
Yeah, we're so glad you came. and we had some good times, even though we didn't always talk about the book.
It's all good.
Hey, and our next book will be Fourth Wing. So if anyone
Yay!
wants to join us for Fourth Wing in anticipation of Onyx Storm, we would love to have you. We will have a live show at some point for it on Clint's channel, since Clint has not yet read it. So
Yes,
over on Clint's channel, I
see what
will.
I think.
So make sure you're following Clint if you're not yet, so that way you could go and read Fourth Wing with us if you haven't yet, or if you just want to reread. And I'm very excited for Fourth Wing. I'm going to listen to the graphic audio because I haven't yet.
I'm
So
nervous.
I'm excited for that. And
I'm
then
nervous.
next week, watch out for a special announcement video for our first 3 picks of the new year.
On the
So,
7th.
yep,
So
that's a
next
week
Saturday.
from Sunday then.
Week from Saturday.
Something like that, yeah.
Because it's not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. And for anyone who is still watching, thank you for showing up. And we will see you next time. So bye, everyone.
Ah.
In broadcast. In broadcast. In broadcast. In